Don in London, hello, it's January the 8th, 2009. January 2009. And my daily video is all about recovery from either addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance, alcohol, not drugs, although now I know that alcohol is a drug for me. My behaviour, to be perfect, wanting to be a perfectionist. What I needed to be was just a human being, and that's all I am, a human being with an outlook. And what's important to me and helps me find out who I am. Who am I on a daily basis? Well, it's the journey between waking up and going to sleep at night. That's the journey. That's how I learn who I am on a daily basis. I can be a brother, a son, a partner, whatever it happens to be on a daily basis, just 24 hours, and maybe for 18 hours awake. So why am I saying this? Often we just don't know who we are anymore, and the question is, why are we asking who are we? Who am I and what do I stand for? What do I take a lead for? What's important to me? And I guess recovery for myself and for other people. I'm part of the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't speak for it, never can, because it doesn't have any spokespersons. And I look at that as an advantage, because it means that nobody else can really speak to it either, not me, and not anybody else, because it is a fellowship of people who have one primary purpose. And to share what that is, it's on this little card, which is available from AA meetings, for the princely sum of about 30p or thereabouts, if they have enough money to buy them. Now, often meetings don't have enough money to buy them, they only have enough money to pay the rent and make the tea, or if they don't have enough money for tea, they just make the rent. Or they fold and another one starts somewhere else. So, a bit about alcohol. A bit about what is AA, and it's on this preamble shared at every meeting, and it says this: AA is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And its primary, as it says there, its primary purpose is to help us stay sober and help other alcoholics who are looking for sobriety. So if you're not looking for sobriety, time to switch off, or if you're dealing with somebody who is bewildered by drinking and cannot stop, maybe all you need to do is give them the telephone number of the AA help office, which will give them a chance to find out what the fellowship can do. And I guarantee that phone should be answered. Should, could, ought. It will be answered by somebody who is in recovery from the addiction or the daily need to drink. So where am I today? Well, life is a bit topsy-turvy, and that's okay. And many questions are being asked of people around me. Who am I today? And the reason why I say it's only for today, because we just don't know who we are from start to finish often. We're on life's journey, and sometimes we're speeding along so fast, and we're absolutely filled with a huge desire to achieve and do the right thing, that we forget that living is in the moment of now. And simply in this moment, it's bringing all my faculties, my senses and my being, and who I am into this very one moment. So now I'm concentrating on this video. You would know if I wasn't, because I'd be staring elsewhere or in a rush to get it over and done with. And I just stared at my clock just to make sure I'm not going too far off the timing. So what is AA and why do I actually do these videos? That's because I want to share the experience, strength and hope I get on a daily basis to keep sober. And there's so many people out there who are addicted, and the trouble with addiction is we cannot stop. We cannot stop on our own. And many people talk about spiritual awakenings and the spiritual nature of the fellowship of AA. It's like any sort of spiritual. It's based on what is happening right now. So with less denials and less filters, and without a clouded brain full of alcohol, I get to understand what spiritual is. And for me, and just me, and what an archbishop once said, it is the ability to cope with now and face what is going on, either for myself or for other people around, and how I may be helpful. And I also need to know that I can't be helpful to everybody. So, and that's true of the fellowship as well, because some of us don't want to be in a fellowship. I never wanted to be. I wasn't a joiner. I was a leader. And I'm glad I'm not actually anymore. And probably the truth is, we are only here for a short period of time on this planet. It's transient, but we are timeless in our heads. And from when we're very young to when we die, we still have very much the same outlook. And hopefully it's an outlook of inquiry and interest in what's going on around us. But as I mentioned yesterday, clinical depression can take away all those good things. Set up a rush to try and fix myself, having got myself into a mess, and get my elastoplast out and wonder why I can't stop bleeding from gaping wounds with a fix. So there is no fix to life, we just live it. And in this book, As Bill Sees It, I'm doing these linearly, so this is page 323, Groping Toward God. More than most people, I think, alcoholics want to know who they are, what is life about, whether they have a divine origin or an appointed destiny, and whether there is a system of cosmic juice and love. It is the experience of many of us in the early stages of our drinking to feel that we have had glimpses of the absolute and heightened feeling of identification with the cosmos. Whilst these glimpses and feelings doubtless have validity, they are deformed and finally swept away in the chemical, spiritual and emotional damage wrought by alcohol itself, and it could be any drug. In AA and in many religious approaches, alcoholics find a great deal more of what they merely glimpsed and felt while trying to grope their way toward God in alcohol. And what that tells me is, it's not just alcohol which is the drug. We can actually get high on life. And, the spiritual connection is reality. So whatever, God gave us the opportunity, if there is one, and I'm still open to understand what God is. If we can understand what the reality of now is, we have a far better opportunity to make life work. And the timeless nature of our heads is that we can absorb more information if we slow down to do things thoroughly rather than rush things and try and fix ourselves. And it's so easy to do that. Daily Reflections is the other book I use, but I didn't use either one yesterday simply because I was concerned to share what is clinical depression. And yesterday's reading was At the Turning Point. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Every day I stand at turning points. My thoughts and actions can propel me toward growth or turn me down the road to old habits and taboos. Sometimes turning points are beginnings, as when I decide to start praising instead of condemning someone, or when I begin to ask for help instead of going it alone. At other times, turning points are endings, such as when I see clearly the need to stop festering resentments or crippling self-seeking. Many shortcomings tempt me daily. Therefore, I also have daily opportunities to become aware of them. In one form or another, many of my character defects appear daily. Self-condemnation, anger, running away, being prideful, wanting to get even, or acting out of grandiosity. Attempting half measures to eliminate these defects merely paralyzes my efforts to change. It is only when I ask God for help, with complete abandon, that I become willing and able to change. And for me, the word God is synonymous with good conscience. And all those things about the turning point, we can actually become completely paralyzed by needing to do this or that, or fix this or that, and not actually doing the hard work. We have to till the soil inside us, really, turn over the ground and start again. And when we start again in sobriety, we see the painful things we've done in the past. So we need to know and understand how to get rid of our resentments against ourselves and anybody else who was involved. And for me, the biggest of these is really about forgiveness. And forgiveness means that we are human. Every moment we've had up until now, we are learning, and it's telling us something. And the biggest gift I have is trying not to fix anything, but trying to live something. And that something is called my life. So my identity, it changes on a daily basis, incrementally or fundamentally, as I learn a little bit more of life. I will never know who I am, but maybe when I pop my clogs, I'll have a better idea.